All right, so uh, today's deep dive is going to be about something that I think is really changing the game for businesses, and that is the augmented enterprise.
Okay.
You've sent over a ton of research on this, papers, case studies,
Yeah.
even like frameworks.
Uh-huh.
So we're really talking about companies operating almost like a supercharged brain, right?
That's a great analogy.
Like they're really getting an upgrade in terms of how they work.
It's adaptability, interconnectedness, constant learning,
Yeah.
but powered by AI. And
Okay.
it's not science fiction, it's happening right now.
So less Terminator, more like smart upgrade.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But before we get too far ahead,
Right.
I think it would help our listener if we just break down like what exactly does it mean for an enterprise to be augmented?
Yeah. So imagine, the human brain with its intricate network of neurons firing and connecting, and now picture a company structured similarly,
Okay.
where information flows freely, decisions are made quickly, and the whole system kind of adapts to new challenges in like almost instantly.
Got it.
That's the core idea.
So instead of these rigid hierarchies
Yes.
and departments operating in silos, we're talking about almost like breaking down those walls.
Yeah,
And creating a more fluid, interconnected system.
precisely. And the glue that holds it all together is AI.
Okay.
It's not just a tool in the augmented enterprise. It's like woven into the fabric of how the organization operates.
So it's almost like baked into the DNA of the company.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture, but how does this play out, like, practically?
Yeah.
One of the papers that you sent, The Human AI Revolution, talks about some pretty impressive results for companies that embrace this approach.
Absolutely. The research shows a 47% higher innovation rate and a 36% better decision-making in these companies. So that's a massive competitive edge.
Yeah, those numbers definitely get my attention.
Right.
So the why is pretty clear, adapt or get left behind.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you actually build an augmented enterprise? It sounds pretty complex.
Well, the new organizational DNA introduces what's called the Neural Organization Framework. And that's like a blueprint for building a company that functions like a brain.
So is that what you were talking about before with those neural nodes and synaptic connections?
You got it. The framework kind of breaks it down into three main parts.
Okay, hit me.
So first you have these neural nodes,
Yeah.
which represent teams or departments with specialized functions.
Okay.
Then there are what are called the synaptic connections.
Uh-huh.
These ensure that information flows smoothly between those nodes and decisions are made collaboratively.
Okay.
And then finally, you need what are called the adaptation mechanisms. And these are systems that allow the structure to kind of evolve in real time, just like our brains, rewire as we learn new things.
So instead of waiting weeks for information to trickle down from the top, decisions can be made on the fly based on the latest intel.
Exactly. It's about creating an agile and responsive organization that can quickly adapt to change.
Got it.
And this framework isn't just some theoretical concept.
Right.
The MIT study we mentioned earlier found that companies using these principles saw a 167% increase in employee engagement.
Wow, that's a huge jump. I guess when people feel more connected and empowered, they're more invested in their work.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the structure down, but how does this impact like specific departments or functions within a company?
So think about a function like marketing.
Okay.
In an augmented enterprise, you'd have human marketers working alongside AI-powered tools.
Right.
AI could handle tasks like analyzing massive data sets, identifying trends, and even personalizing messages at scale.
So while the AI is crunching numbers and optimizing campaigns, human marketers can focus on strategy, crafting those compelling narratives and connecting with customers on a deeper level.
Exactly. It's all about playing to the strengths of both humans and AI.
Okay.
The human element becomes even more critical in an augmented enterprise.
We'll definitely dive into that
Yeah.
more later. But before we move on, I want to make sure our listeners really grasping how this neural organization framework is applied. Can you give us like a concrete example?
Absolutely. Imagine a company that's trying to launch a new product.
Right.
In a traditional organization, you might have the marketing team working in isolation and then passing their plans up the chain of command for approval.
Right. It's slow.
It's a slow and often inefficient process.
Yeah, I can see how that would lead to delays and missed opportunities.
Now imagine that same company structured as an augmented enterprise.
Okay.
The marketing team is using AI tools to analyze customer data, identify target audiences, and even test different marketing messages in real time.
So they're getting instant feedback and making data-driven decisions.
Exactly. And here's where those synaptic connections come in.
Right.
They're able to share those insights instantly with other departments like sales and product development.
So everyone's on the same page working together to create a successful product launch.
Precisely. It's a much more agile and collaborative approach. And it's all powered by AI and that interconnected structure.
This is really eye-opening. I'm already starting to see the potential of the augmented enterprise, but before we get too carried away, let's bring it back to the human element.
Yeah.
What happens to those whose jobs are, heavily impacted by AI in this new world?
That's a crucial question, and it's something companies need to be very thoughtful about.
Right.
As certain tasks become automated or augmented by AI, there's a responsibility to reskill and upskill employees for new roles that emerge.
So it's not about replacing people. It's about helping them evolve alongside the technology.
Exactly. Think about it this way. AI might excel at data analysis, but it can't replicate human creativity, empathy, or critical thinking.
Right.
These skills will become even more valuable in the augmented enterprise.
That's reassuring to hear, but, training and development programs cost money. Where should these investments in AI and reskilling come from?
Well, that's where things get strategic.
Oh.
Companies can actually reallocate resources from tasks that are now being automated by AI.
Oh, so you're taking the resources from the things that are being automated
Exactly.
and putting it towards the reskilling.
By streamlining certain processes, they can free up funds to invest in more strategic initiatives, including AI integration and employee development.
So it's not just about adding AI on top of existing structures.
Right.
It's about fundamentally rethinking how work gets done and where resources are allocated.
Exactly. It's a holistic transformation.
Okay.
And it's not just about cost savings either.
Okay.
Think about all those productivity gains that AI can unlock.
Right.
What will organizations do with that extra output?
That's a great question. It's not just about doing the same things faster. Right? It's about opening up new possibilities.
Precisely. Organizations can use those gains to fuel growth, enter new markets, invest in innovation, or even reduce costs and pass those savings on to customers.
So it sounds like the augmented enterprise isn't just about, incremental improvement. It's about unlocking entirely new levels of potential.
Right.
But with all these companies embracing this approach, how will the competitive landscape change?
That's a great question.
Like, how will this impact, competition between businesses?
Companies that successfully integrate AI into their operations will undoubtedly have a significant edge. They'll be able to make faster, more informed decisions, innovate more rapidly, and adapt to change more effectively.
So it's not just about keeping up. It's about creating a future where your company is leading the pack.
Exactly. The companies that embrace the augmented enterprise will be the ones shaping the future, not just reacting to it.
Okay, so this all sounds very promising, but let's get practical for a moment.
Yeah.
If AI is really driving so much of the productivity and the output, how do we fairly compensate employees? Do our traditional compensation models need to evolve?
That's an important consideration. Traditional models based solely on individual output may no longer be appropriate.
Okay.
We might see a shift towards models that emphasize team performance skills development and the value created through human-AI collaboration.
So instead of just measuring individual contributions, we're looking at the overall value generated by that human AI team.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that in an augmented enterprise, success is a shared endeavor.
This is all incredibly insightful. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into the augmented enterprise, from the foundational concepts of what it is and how it's structured, to exploring the impact on specific functions, and even touching on the financial and compensation models of this new world of work. But this is just the beginning.
I agree. There's so much more to uncover, and I'm looking forward to delving deeper into those aspects in the upcoming segments.
All right, listener, hang tight while we switch gears. We'll be back in a moment to explore even more fascinating aspects of the augmented enterprise.
Welcome back. I'm eager to continue our exploration of the augmented enterprise.
Me too. There's so much to unpack here.
Yeah.
One thing that really stuck with me from our last discussion was this idea of measuring success in like a whole new way.
Yeah.
We were talking about cognitive performance metrics
Right.
and how those differ from, traditional metrics.
That's a key aspect of the augmented enterprise measuring impact. Really digs into this. They introduce what's called the neural performance framework.
Okay.
It's not just about how quickly someone completes a task.
Right.
It's about how AI enhances their decision-making, their learning speed, their problem-solving abilities.
So it's less about individual output and more about how effectively humans and AI are working together to achieve, better outcomes.
Precisely. For example, instead of just tracking the number of sales calls made, you might measure how well a sales team uses AI-powered insights to tailor their approach to each customer.
Okay.
Are they closing more deals? Are they building stronger, longer-lasting relationships?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's about quality over quantity.
Exactly.
And speaking of quality, the research mentioned a pretty impressive example, the Google DeepMind study, where they saw a 234% boost in employee pattern recognition abilities after integrating DeepMind.
Yeah, that's a fantastic illustration of how AI can amplify human cognitive capabilities. Imagine the possibilities in fields like finance, healthcare, or even scientific research.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But measuring cognitive enhancement is only one piece of the puzzle, right?
Right.
We also talked about integration success metrics.
Right.
How do those fit into this framework?
They're crucial. We need to understand how smoothly AI is being woven into workflows, how teams are collaborating with AI systems,
Okay.
and whether those systems are genuinely making people's jobs easier and more effective.
So it's not just about having the technology, it's about using it in a way that truly benefits both the organization and the individuals within it.
Exactly.
And this brings us back to the human element.
Yeah.
How do we measure things like employee well-being and job satisfaction in an augmented enterprise? I mean, it's a whole new world of work, and
Yeah.
it's bound to bring its own set of challenges.
Absolutely. And that's where the concept of digital resilience comes in.
Okay.
The human element explores this in detail. It's about having the skills and mindset to not just survive, but thrive in this constantly evolving technological landscape.
Digital resilience, it sounds like a superpower for the AI age.
It is.
But what does it actually look like in practice?
Think about it this way. It's a combination of technological adaptability, emotional stability, and a problem-solving mindset.
Okay, break that down for me. What do each of those components entail?
So technological adaptability means being open to learning new tools and platforms, embracing change rather than resisting it.
Okay.
Emotional stability is crucial in a fast-paced, tech-driven environment.
Right.
It's about staying calm and focused amidst the inevitable hiccups and challenges of AI integration.
Yeah.
And then finally, that problem-solving mindset means being able to creatively combine human intuition with AI-powered insights to tackle complex problems.
So it's not just about being tech savvy, it's about having the emotional intelligence and the resilience to adapt and thrive in this new world of work.
Precisely. And these qualities aren't just innate. They can be cultivated through training support systems and a company culture that values continuous learning and development.
Speaking of support systems, the research mentions Microsoft's Human Enhancement Program.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that?
So Microsoft recognized that their employees needed support to navigate this transition to an AI-driven work environment.
Right.
Their program focused on providing training and resources to help employees adapt and develop new skills.
Okay.
And the results were incredibly impressive. They saw a significant boost in both employee performance and well-being.
So investing in your people and their resilience really pays off.
It does.
But even with the most digitally resilient workforce, we still need effective leadership to, guide the ship.
Right.
What does leadership look like in an augmented enterprise?
That's where things get really fascinating. We need a new breed of leader, what Leadership Reimagined calls the augmented leader.
An augmented leader. I like the sound of that. What sets them apart from traditional leaders? Do they need to be coding whizzes or data science experts?
Not necessarily. It's less about being a technical expert and more about understanding how to leverage the power of AI while still leading with a human touch.
So they need to be comfortable with data and technology,
Right.
but also retain those essential human qualities like empathy, vision, and the ability to inspire.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance. And that's where Leadership Reimagined introduces what's called the neural leadership framework.
Okay.
It outlines 3 key components.
Okay, let's dive into those components. What does the neural leadership framework entail?
So first you have what are called neural processing systems.
Huh.
And this is where AI is used to enhance decision matrices, recognize patterns, and amplify intuition.
Right.
It's about leveraging AI to boost those core leadership skills.
So AI becomes like a tool to help leaders make better, faster, and more informed decisions.
Precisely. Then there's integration mechanisms.
So,
This is about seamlessly connecting human cognition with AI capabilities,
okay.
creating systems that allow leaders to access and utilize AI-powered insights in a way that feels natural and intuitive.
So it's not just about using AI as a separate tool. It's about integrating it into the very fabric of how leaders think and make decisions.
Exactly. And finally, you have evolution protocols, which enable leaders to adapt and learn at an accelerated pace.
Okay.
In this rapidly evolving environment, continuous learning isn't just for employees, it's even more crucial for leaders.
That makes a lot of sense. Leaders need to be constantly evolving to keep pace with the changes brought about by AI. But all this talk about frameworks and models can sometimes feel a bit abstract.
Yeah.
Are there any real-world examples of companies that have successfully implemented these principles?
Absolutely. One of the most compelling case studies highlighted in the research is HSBC's neural banking transformation in Hong Kong.
HSBC, that's a major global bank.
It is.
What did their transformation look like?
They took a very strategic approach, creating new role architectures, developing hybrid training systems, and really focusing on empowering their employees to work effectively with AI.
So it was a holistic approach, not just about implementing technology,
Right.
but about changing the culture and mindset of the entire organization.
Exactly. And the results speak for themselves. They saw a 167% improvement in decision accuracy,
Wow.
a 223% increase in customer satisfaction, and a 198% improvement in risk assessment.
Those are incredible numbers. It sounds like their investment in the augmented enterprise really paid off.
It did, and it serves as a powerful example for other companies looking to make this transition. It demonstrates that these concepts aren't just theoretical. They can be applied in the real world to achieve truly remarkable outcomes.
This is all incredibly inspiring. It paints a very exciting picture of the future of work. But I'm curious, with all this talk about augmentation and evolving roles, what happens to the individual?
Right?
How can people thrive in this new environment? What does it actually look like day to day?
That's a great question, and that's where the concept of personal augmentation comes in.
Oh,
Pioneers of the AI age explores this in detail, highlighting the emergence of entirely new roles and skill sets.
new roles. Give me
Yeah.
some examples.
Think about roles like AI trainers who teach AI systems how to perform specific tasks,
Oh,
or ethical AI specialists who ensure that AI systems are used responsibly and fairly.
okay.
We're even seeing the rise of human AI interaction designers who focus on creating seamless and intuitive interfaces between people and AI systems.
These roles are fascinating. They require a blend of technical expertise, human understanding, and ethical consideration.
Exactly, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. As AI continues to evolve, we'll see even more new roles emerge, many of which we can't even imagine yet.
It's both exciting and a little daunting to think about the possibilities.
It is.
But how can individuals navigate this rapidly changing landscape and figure where they fit in?
So Pioneers of the AI age offers a helpful tool for this. It's called the Role Evolution Matrix. It's a framework that helps individuals understand how their current skills might translate into an augmented enterprise role,
Okay.
or what skills they need to develop to pursue a new career path.
So it's like a roadmap for personal and professional development in the AI age.
Precisely. It helps individuals take control of their own career trajectory and position themselves for success in this new world of work.
This is incredibly valuable information. I'm sure our listener is already thinking about how they can apply these concepts to their own career.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up this segment, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier, the potential downsides of the augmented enterprise.
Right.
You said that any powerful tool can be misused and AI is no exception.
Yeah.
What are some of the risks we need to be aware of?
That's a crucial point. One potential risk is that the benefits of AI could be unevenly distributed,
Okay.
exacerbating existing inequalities. We need to be mindful of potential biases in algorithms
Right.
and ensure that AI is used to create a more equitable society, not a more divided one.
So it's not just about implementing the technology, it's about doing so responsibly and ethically.
Exactly. We need to be vigilant about protecting privacy and individual autonomy as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
Right.
It's a complex issue, but one that we need to address head-on as we continue to explore the potential of the augmented enterprise.
And this conversation has been incredibly enlightening. It's clear that the augmented enterprise isn't just a technological shift.
Right.
It's a societal one.
It is.
It's going to require us to rethink our values, our systems, and our very definition of progress. But I'm feeling optimistic about the possibilities.
I share your optimism. It's an exciting time to be witnessing this transformation. And I believe that if we approach it thoughtfully and intentionally, we can create a future where AI empowers individuals, strengthens organizations, and ultimately leads to a better world for all.
That's a great note to end on. We've covered so much ground in this segment, from measuring success in the augmented enterprise to exploring the role of leadership, and even delving into the potential risks and ethical considerations. But our deep dive isn't over yet.
There's still much more to explore. In our final segment, we'll delve into the broader societal impact of the augmented enterprise and discuss how businesses can use this powerful force for good.
All right, listener, take a moment to process all of this amazing information. We'll be back shortly to wrap up our deep dive into the augmented enterprise. Welcome back to our deep dive into the augmented enterprise.
Yeah.
We've explored so much already, like from the nuts and bolts of how it's structured
Yeah.
to the impact on individual roles and even leadership.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. But, now I kind of want to zoom out and consider the bigger picture. Like, why should companies embrace this transformation?
Right.
What's in it for them and what's in it for society as a whole?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Like, are we just talking about making companies more efficient or profitable, or is there something more to it?
Right. So we're not just talking about, making companies more efficient or profitable.
Okay.
It's about using this power for something bigger.
Okay, that got my attention. What kind of challenges are we talking about here?
Think about global issues like climate change,
Okay.
resource scarcity, even poverty and healthcare disparities.
Wow.
These are complex, systemic problems that require innovative solutions,
Yeah?
and the augmented enterprise might be the key to unlocking those solutions.
So we're talking about businesses using AI and human ingenuity to make a real difference in the world.
Yeah,
That's a pretty inspiring vision.
it is. Imagine companies not just focused on their bottom line, but actively working to develop sustainable energy solutions, create equitable access to healthcare,
Right?
or empower communities to lift themselves out of poverty.
That's amazing. I love that idea. But let's be honest. A lot of companies are still driven by short-term profits.
Yeah.
How do we encourage this shift towards a more purpose-driven approach?
It's a multifaceted challenge, but the research suggests a few key strategies.
Okay.
One is fostering a culture of purpose-driven leadership.
Okay.
It's about leaders who see beyond profits
Yeah.
and prioritize the greater good.
So it starts at the top with leaders who are committed to making a positive impact.
Absolutely, but it can't just be lip service.
Right.
We also need to incentivize sustainable practices,
Okay.
maybe through tax breaks or other rewards for companies that prioritize social and environmental responsibility.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
And if we're going to measure success in the augmented enterprise,
Right.
we need new metrics
Yeah,
that account for more than just financial performance.
exactly. We need to measure things like environmental impact, social equity, and even employee well-being alongside traditional financial indicators.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but I'm sure there are some skeptics out there. Some might argue that, it's not the role of businesses to solve these global problems.
Yeah.
How would you address that concern?
Well, businesses don't operate in a vacuum.
Right.
They're part of a larger ecosystem, and their actions have a ripple effect on the world around them.
Yeah.
Embracing a more purpose-driven approach isn't just the right thing to do ethically,
Okay.
it also makes good business sense.
So it's not an either situation. Companies can be profitable and purpose-driven.
Precisely. Studies have shown that companies that prioritize sustainability and social responsibility are often more innovative, attract and retain top talent,
Right.
and build stronger, more loyal customer relationships.
Wow.
It's a win-win for everyone involved.
This has been an incredibly thought-provoking conversation.
It has.
It's clear that the augmented enterprise has the potential to be a powerful force for good in the world.
Yeah.
As we wrap up our deep dive, what's the key takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
I think the most important message is this. The augmented enterprise is about more than just technology.
Oh, yeah.
It's about harnessing the power of human ingenuity and collaboration to create a future that's not only more efficient and innovative, but also more equitable and sustainable.
That's a fantastic way to sum it up. And it's a reminder that, we all have a role to play in shaping this future.
We do.
So, listener, as you go about your day, consider how the principles of the augmented enterprise might apply to your own work,
Yeah.
to your organization,
Uh-huh.
and even your community.
Absolutely.
And remember, this is an ongoing conversation. The augmented enterprise is still evolving,
It is.
and we need to stay curious, stay engaged, and keep exploring the possibilities.
We do.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the augmented enterprise. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of the forces shaping our world.